Welcome to Viben Gold, a collection of guided meditations put into podcast form for your easy listening. My name is Vivian Gerard, and I will be walking with you through the intoxicating now moments of life here on this planet. These audios are intended to be used as a full meditation if you want to close your eyes, settle down into a comfy spot, and let your subconscious come all the way forward. Or it can simply be some background conversation where the nuggets of information that you most need will make their way into your awareness. Whichever way it works for you, I invite you to open up and enjoy fully this journey of life that we are all taking together. So much love to you. Good morning. Welcome to Soul Shine. It is so good to be with you this morning. Here we go. All right, let's drop right in. So go ahead and start with your breath. Notice what your pace of breathing is this morning. If you're calm and steady and excited and present, or if you're rushing and trying to slow yourself down and land in your chair or your bed or your floor, wherever you are, go ahead and pay attention to the breath. Yeah. And notice as you breathe in and you breathe out, if you can slow down the exhale. And you can allow the breath to come out your mouth in a long, slow, almost like you're sighing. As you do that, it's a pressure release. It's going to allow you to come into your body. To really drop fully into your own embodied space. The breath is the vehicle, the tool that allows us to do that. As you slow yourself down and land here in this moment, this call, this experience, whatever it is that we are co-creating together in this new moment, allow your breath to be what guides you in. So you'll have your own rhythm. You'll have your own sound of how you do it. Yeah, isn't it amazing to be in a gathering where you can take your time to just breathe? That's it. That's all you have to do. Just focus on your breath. Yeah. And as you do that, start to notice your body, right? When you slow your breathing down, you'll find the places where perhaps you've been holding it or clenching or gripping or forcing, right? As you slow your breathing down and you're bringing more oxygen into the muscles and the bloodstream and your brain is starting to settle, what I find for myself is I start to feel my body in a different way. So what I noticed immediately was, oh, my jaw's tight. You know, I can feel where I was kind of gritting my teeth a little bit. And so as I notice that, I can bring attention to that place in my body and go, oh, okay, so there's a lot moving, right? Like I might need to wiggle my jaw or stretch or smile or yawn. I might need to move some of the energy that feels like it got stuck in that gripping of the teeth. Right, yours might be your shoulders. Maybe you notice as you slow your breathing that your shoulders are hunched forward or there's a pressure in the center, like right at the center of your back where your spine and your neck and your shoulders all meet, right? That power center. And so you can do the same thing. You can move, you can wiggle, you can imagine adding breath right into the center of your shoulder blades. Right, and as you bring breath into a space that feels tight or contracted or shrinking or small, Breath is like when you have a balloon, and you breathe into the balloon, and suddenly there's an expansion, right? There's room, there's more. Something is created there that didn't exist before, and so there's more space. We have a pool, and there are always pool toys that need to be blown up, or rafts, or something that's running out of air, and that's the big joke here is, well, you got to use your hot air to fill up that raft or toy. It's the same for your physical body. So when your body feels contracted and tight in different areas, you can imagine breath, right? It doesn't even have to be a physical thing. You can just visualize a wind, a breath, a sigh, blowing up like a balloon, some space, bringing in room. Yeah, so notice where else in your body there might be some contractions. Right, and as you release, for example, if you're releasing from your shoulders or your jaw, as you add breath, you can imagine just sending whatever was stuck right out the edges of your skin. Like, skin is porous, right? It absorbs water. It sweats water. So you can just imagine that tension or block or story, whatever it was that was in that tight space, just starts to dissolve, or you can visualize it as sweat, right? Like you're perspiring the block out. And when it hits the air on the outside of your body, it can just dissolve. It can evaporate. Yeah, so perhaps bring your breath lower, down into maybe your stomach or your heart, maybe your stomach, like see what's happening in that solar plexus area of your body. So as you bring breath down into that core area, the solar plexus, remember, is I am, I exist. I am here, me, in this lifetime with whatever it is that I came here to do. I know, right? It's like, I don't know what I'm here to do. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I want to do it. And so that solar plexus holds tight. It contracts in, it grips, right? It's a tender place until we find the strength and the certainty in it, and then it's our power center. But until we feel that certainty, it's vulnerable, right? It's what they would say in the old days with the knights. You've got to have that belly area protected, because if they get you in the belly, you're dead, right? If you get wounded with a sword in the belly, forget it. Life's over. And so we guard and protect that part of ourselves that we're not always sure we want the world to see. So in this moment, in this community, right, on this call, just for now, what if you were to play with that power center in a new way? You can always bring it back to what it was before the call ends, right? There's no expectation that you have to take whatever you see here and do anything with it. But what if in this cocoon space, you can imagine sending breath gently down into the stomach, almost like a little pump, like you're sending a little pump of air that is going to balloon up, and you can do it as slowly as you want, right? It's just going to bring more space into this area that we tend to buffer and protect. And I love to play in my visualization with sparkles and dazzles and, gold dust, something that feels so inviting that my body craves that attention and that energetic support by visualizing it. So you can do the same if you choose, right? You can imagine as you're blowing air, breathing air down into that solar plexus that you give it a sparkle, or you give it a liquid warmth. I'm a big tea drinker, and I love when that warmth of the tea with the herbs goes into my stomach. You can almost feel the warmth going down,
your throat, and then it gently hits the stomach, and it's like, right? It's that warm, cozy feeling inside. So start with that. Start with, I'm going to bring breath. I choose in this moment, if you want to, right, to bring new life, new air, new breath down into that solar plexus. And you can bring as much or as little as you want, but imagine you can visualize the center of your body, the center of your power, getting a little bit bigger. Right? And if you move quickly and you want to go faster, you can take it bigger, bigger, bigger outside of your physical body space if you want, outside of like your energy aura, or stretch your energy aura wider so it can hold this really big power center that got expanded. Or you can keep it just an inch bigger. Right? Whatever feels right to you. And then just sit for a moment. You're adjusting, right? You're testing this out to see, how does it feel when I have this new life inside of me that I chose to bring here, I chose to expand, I chose to make happen? How does it feel to just sit in that new vibration? And if it's intense, bring it back in a little bit. If you're like, well, this is easy, why didn't I do this sooner? See if you want to expand just a little bit bigger than that. You'll know when you hit the edges of it, right? You'll feel this. I had this wise woman yesterday say to me, it's like, what's today, Sunday? On Friday, she said, you're going to feel like you're bumping up against the edges of it and you bounce back in, sort of like a rubber membrane, right? So you might feel this like, ooh, it's pushing my comfort zone, my edges a little bit. Too intense, right? So I'm going to bring it back in. Yep. If there's a lot of intensity, just add a little more breath and allow it to kind of breathe out the intensity, to dissolve that outside of the membrane like sweat. So the intense feeling can move on the outside, and just the beautiful, safe cocoon expansion can stay on the inside. Good. Yeah, and you can stay here another moment, or if you want, you can add one more breath in and go even a little bit bigger if you feel like it. Yeah, the breath is so powerful, isn't it? So beautiful. Good. Good. You can leave it like this if you want for the rest of the call, or if it feels good, you can bring it back in a little bit. So perhaps leave it more expanded than when you first noticed your stomach, when we started looking at that. But maybe not all the way out, right? Find a happy balance that feels solid enough that you can keep moving your attention to other things, right? So this is just now the baseline, the default, from which you're going to continue the rest of this call. So if you need to go a tiny bit smaller, so you can hold that and not have to keep your attention on holding it, then do that. Good. And then imagine you can bring your breath lower. So go into your root center right at your hips, or maybe you go down into your legs and you bring your attention all the way to your feet. See if there is space already in those areas where you don't need to add breath. Or just sense like, yeah, for me I'm noticing like my feet feel a little bored, or bored. My feet are bored. That's a funny word. It's the right word though. Like my feet don't feel very enlivened, right? Not after what I just felt in my core, in my stomach, that energizing feeling. So I'm going to visualize that I can send breath, right, energetically down through my legs, waking them up, all the way to my feet. Right? And then you can imagine, like when you're sitting in the same position for a long time and your feet fall asleep. That's what we always called it. I don't know what other people call it. We'd say, my foot fell asleep, right? And you start to move it and you feel what we would call pins and needles, like you feel the little prickles in your feet as they wake up. You can visualize or you can actually breathe. Imagine you can send breath all the way down through your body to your feet. And you can pinprick them awake. Right? You can start to, and you might want to wiggle your toes or stomp your feet a little bit on the carpet. Like, wake up. These feet, these connection points that root us into the earth. Right? Sometimes we sit for so long that we forget. We have these really amazing, powerful things that move us around the earth. So go ahead and dance your feet a little bit. Good. Yeah, my feet are no longer bored. My feet are awake. So see how your feet feel. How do they feel in this moment? Are they fully here? Are you embodied all the way down to your feet? Yeah, and then use your breath to let all of your energy come in and land in your physical body. Nicely done. Nicely done. That was a fun way to come in. Okay, go ahead and feel your hands also. You might want to wiggle your fingers. Right, and just feel energy moving all the way down your arms into your fingers. There are so many energy points, meridians and pressure points. I don't know all the right terms for it, but anyone who's an acupuncturist or massage or Reiki person would know, right? Like there are so many ways that energy moves in our fingers and our hands. So wake up the system by stretching and wiggling your fingers. I take a Kundalini yoga class, and the way that we begin and end every session is through rubbing the hands together, right? You rub. You get the hands waking up. And then at the end of a session, you lay on your back and you put your hands and your arms in the air and your feet in the air, and you rub your hands and you rub your feet, and you wake up, you integrate the energy into your physical body, and then you take your hands and you put your feet on the floor, and you take your hands and you cover your eyes, and you bring that energy into your eyes, and then that's how you open your eyes to complete the session. It's like you are your own energizer, and then you bring it in as you end. You don't send it out, you bring it in. So feel the power of that, right? Your breath woke your body up as we started this call. Your attention, your focus energized all of these power centers in your body, all the way down to your feet and all the way out to your fingertips. Right? You are the creator. You are the original source of your own vibration, your own energy. Yeah, and I'm sure you're like, oh, shit, I am? What if I don't want to be? What if it's easier to have other people be the power source for me? Yeah, well, that's why you're here on this call, right? Because we're looking at that. Because we are looking at that. Okay, so feet on the floor, or if you're laying down, use your heels, use your ankle bones if your feet are yoga style in front of you. And whatever point of your foot is attached to the earth, however high in the sky you are in a condo or a high-rise, or whether you're sitting on the actual earth outside, it doesn't make a difference. We're going to visualize that from your feet, if you choose, you can grow roots. You can send an energetic connection all the way down through the layers of whatever is underneath you, down to the earth's surface, which looks crusty and hard, right? How can my cords, my connections, my roots send anything down through the surface that looks so solid? It's porous, just like our skin, right? It's a membrane, just like our skin is. Water soaks into the earth and creates mudslides and creates lakes and oceans. So your energetic attention from your feet going down to the earth's surface can be just as liquid as rain, right? Just as porous, moving through the earth's surface. You can imagine that your root or your light beam, whatever it is you see from the bottoms of your feet, can just gently go through. Right? It's like laser surgery almost. You don't even need any physical cuts in order for the healing to go straight through the skin into the inside. So just visualize how your connection looks to you. And as you send that connection into the earth, you can have it go in all different directions, but for this moment, as we work with really steadying our center, see if you can visualize that directly underneath you so that you have your head, your power center, like your shoulders, your power center, your root, and then all the way straight down, like there's just this continuous steady flow of energy that goes through your legs and your feet. If you're laying down, you can just visualize that you're like, whoop, suddenly perpendicular with the earth. Yeah, and then just start to go down. So you can go as deep as you would like to. You can go 10 feet, 100 feet, 1,000 feet. But visualize that the connections are rooting you into the pulse of the earth. So when we are above the earth's surface, we get in our cars and we determine how fast we want to go. 10 miles, 80 miles, 150 miles, right? In the air, 500 miles an hour as the planes fly. When we're in our minds, we can sit and be still and calm and peaceful, or our minds can race around like a racetrack, right, with the cars looping over and over again. When you can bring your attention beneath the surface of the earth, go deeper. Yep. And feel the breath still in your body, relaxing your jawbone, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your stomach, relaxing your root. Yep. And then feel how the roots or the light or whatever your connection is in the earth, as it goes deeper down, it gets quieter and quieter. Go deeper if you want. Yeah. Beneath the surface of the earth, there is a steady, consistent pulse, right? This is why people listen to ocean wave music when they fall asleep. It's why babies, that's how to calm them, is white noise, right? It tunes out all of the energetic vibration above the earth's surface so that your body isn't trying to make sense of everything coming towards it. Your mind isn't trying to logic through. You just have this natural heartbeat or rhythm, pulse that is beneath the earth. So as you drop your attention below, right, you can even imagine like your ears go down under the earth's surface with the roots. And the ears are just listening. They're just sensing, what is this rhythm? Yeah, so just feel it. Feel it for yourself. And then invite your body to align with that. And what that could feel like is your body starts to feel peaceful. The tension that you might have been feeling starts to be drained down through the roots all the way to your feet and down into the earth. Right? Like the earth is saying, hand over the resistance that's above the earth, send it down like flushing a toilet. Right? Send the waste down because earth can recycle and purify that. And just tune in to the pulse of what's underneath here. One of my favorite scenes from The Lion King is when the little baby, I mean, it's a sad scene, but it's also so powerful. He's in the valley, and he starts to hear the echoing on the surface of the earth, the rumbling, and he knows that means that all of those wild animals are coming towards him. I forget what they're called, wildebeest or something. They're coming towards him, but he knows it because he feels the pulse of the earth change. Right? What once was calm is now like boom, 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 and it gets bigger and heavier and louder, and the earth is rumbling. And so he gets his signal from the vibration of the earth changing. Right? This is the opposite. The vibration of the earth above is so crazy and busy and toxic and blah, right? So when we come down and in, we remember what the peace is like, what the calm feels like. Yeah, so just take a minute or two, just calibrate your body, drop the roots deeper. If you aren't feeling that you can sense it yet, bring your attention lower. Send the roots 1,000 feet down into the ground, 1 mile down into the ground. And then allow your resistance to run down and out through the roots. Yeah, and then relax your body. Do you see how it's a co-creation? You relax your body and suddenly you're like, oh, it's good, I'm good. Right? I feel the peace settling inside. Yeah, there you go. It feels like an ocean wave. It's a slow and steady, consistent beat. Right? It's like you're taking one of those conch shells, I forget how you say it, and you put it to your ear, and your body sighs when it hears that, right? It's like, oh, there it is again. There is that rhythm that just reminds me that all is well. All is well. Good. Good. So go ahead and let these roots continue, just like we have the power center a little more expanded than what it was when you started the call. Just set the intention, right? The roots that have me connected to the earth are going to feel this vibration the rest of the call and bring that into my body, allow my body to connect down into it. There's going to be a flow of energy that goes up and down through these roots between my body and the earth. So if I hear or sense something that feels confusing or toxic or brings up emotion, I'm going to remember I can send it down into the earth, and the earth is going to send up this vibration of peace again. Right? And so this little energy flow is running between you and the earth because you've chosen to hook in. Good. Good work. So bring your ears, your attention back up into your physical body and allow that connection to stay with your feet. And then we're going to connect with Source. Even though I feel like connecting with Earth is a form of connecting with Source, there's a bigger energy than this planet Earth, right? We're so attuned to the vibration, to the power of this planet, because this is where our bodies, our souls are in this moment. But this Earth planet is just one energy in this universe, right? This galaxy upon galaxy. We don't even know how big this universe is. And so when we only connect into the Earth and we forget that there's this bigger connection, it limits us. It's good to connect to the earth, but it still limits us from the expansiveness of who we each are. And so in this moment, as you feel your connection grounding you, anchoring, holding you firmly here in this physical body, I want you to try connecting with Source in a way we haven't done on this call yet, but you may have done on your own. What I've done in every Soulshine call, and I didn't realize it until this morning when I was looking at it, we've always been here inviting Source in or next to or around or with us, right? We haven't actually gone out to see if we can find Source. And this contrast feels important for today. So I want you to feel your connection through your feet. Feel your feet rooted in. Anchored here on this earth. You're not going to fly out. I mean, we're going to try, right? We're going to go see what we can see, but you're here. You're here on this call in this community, and we are anchoring ourselves into this moment. But see if you can invite or allow your soul, your essence, your energy to try to go out to see. Like if I were to stretch my energy system out high, imagine you can bump up against the atmosphere and peek out the top of the earth, right? Just a visualization here. Imagine you can stretch yourself out and you peek out the top of the earth and you're trying to see, where is Source? If I were to turn my ears on out in the universe, just like I turned my ears on in the earth. If I were to visualize turning my ears on outside of the planet, go ahead and just see, can I sense where Source is? Like, do I go to the left or the right or above, straight ahead, behind? Like, see if you can feel. Turn your ears up. Where would I find Source? And there's no right or wrong answer. It's just for you to explore this, right? If you keep your feet anchored in the earth, and you stretch your whole head or your shoulders up above the planet, and just visualize this as a little cartoon character. Stretch your head and your eyes and your ears and everything above the surface of the earth, out of the atmosphere, and you're sensing, which direction do I go? If I were to put my hand out in the universe and try to touch where Source is, where's the one spot that I would go to? Again, there's no right or wrong. For me, what I find is I don't even know. It's like everywhere, right? Like, do I go there or there? I don't know, right? And I don't even know if I stretched my arm 100 million miles out if I could actually touch where the original power center of Source might be. Right? It feels like maybe I'd go in the direction of the sun, but even that feels limited to me. Like, is that really Source? No, because if Source is the sun, there's still stars and planets and things all around, so aren't those also Source? Yeah, so just sit with that for a moment. What do you feel here? Keep your feet anchored on the earth. Use your breath if you need to settle, if it feels like, what is this we are doing? I don't even understand. What is there to know in this moment about going after, chasing, reaching out for Source? Yeah, for me it feels a little overwhelming. It's like I don't even know where I would go. I don't even know where I would start. It's too big. Right? So if you have a match to that, or even if you don't, let's go ahead and bring our energy back in for right now. So imagine you can bring your little caricature head back through the surface of the earth, pull your arm back in, shrink it down to normal size, like Elastigirl in The Incredibles, right? Bring all of your appendages back into a normal human size. And bring yourself fully back into your body again, this body sitting here on this chair or the floor. Feel your feet root you all the way into the earth again, way, way, way down, a mile down. Yeah, bring your energy back into your body. Feel all of you land right here, right here. power center a little bigger than it was at the beginning of the call. Shoulder blades loose, hips firmly anchored. All right, so this is why it felt important to do that. When I was doing my meditation, it looked like light. Like I said, I would love to go find Source, right? I want to go there. And so I could feel this big, like, bright light in front of my forehead. And it looked like a tunnel, kind of like in the Star Wars movies. You know, you go into the tunnel and then it's like faster, faster, faster. It felt a little like that, like I could go into this exploration of light trying to find Source. And what I found in my own meditation is I just kept going and 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 going, and I didn't know where I was going to go to. There was no, like, end to where there's a place where you sit and meet with Source. And so what I noticed for myself is it feels so out of reach. It feels like I'll never actually connect with Source when I try go after Source, when I try go to find out there Source. So the contrast is when you feel yourself here in your own body, centered and still and rooted down into the earth, anchored in this reality right here, this moment, this body, this choice to be here in this moment, in this body. Using your breath right? From this centered space, you can receive Source, right? You can invite. So you can picture in front of you or next to you or inside your heart space. You can picture Source in whatever form is comfortable for you. So it could be a star, it could be a sun, it could be a light. For me, it's often the images of people that have passed who I adore, who I love, right? I feel Source take on their form and communicate with me as their face laughing or their sarcastic comments, right? Or their hugs, whatever it is. To me, it feels like Source takes on the image of something I'm familiar with, I'm comfortable with, I feel great connection and love and compassion with. And then Source becomes real and tangible. So we're going to take maybe a couple minutes here, and I invite you to be in yourself, centered, grounded, anchored, and receive Source as a visual or a form that can just sit with you. There's no thing that has to be done. It's just a connection, a heartbeat connection, like what we did through our feet with the earth. You're just going to take a couple minutes to feel Source coming to you. So go ahead and do that. Okay. You can do this anytime you want, by the way. You can come back to the space and just invite Source in anytime. Anytime. This is what the Buddhists call meditation is in every moment, right? When you connect with Source, you're meditating, in my opinion, right? You're in your space and you're feeling your connection to oneness, to all. You can do that washing the dishes or taking a bath or walking outside, reading a book, right? You can stop and pause and go in, and that is meditation. All right, so keep this connection open if you choose, just like we are with the feet connecting to the earth and the power center a little more expanded, right? Just allow all of those connections to continue without you having to keep your awareness on them. And we're going to talk about the topic or the theme that has been sitting with me this morning, which is breakthroughs, breakthroughs. There's so much, there was so much I wanted to say, and I wrote some notes, and also I'm like, there's no way we'll cover it all, but we'll just do the part that feels the most relevant. So in the email that I sent out about the Soulshine call, I referenced a video by Kai Pacha, who's an astrologer that I find remarkably wise. And he had a mantra. He has a mantra each week. He had a mantra this week that said, "It's about becoming a master when surrounded by disaster. I remain within my center, not as victim, but as creator." And what he was describing is, when you're in this day, this experience right now, it's so easy to be pulled into everything that's happening around you, the activity, the arguments, the mind loop, the thoughts that won't, allow for expansion, that keep you limited, the people who need you, the disasters that are going on, that the media continues to project and send out at all of us. And so when we're in this one moment, we get caught up in all of that. And we forget this big picture, right? So he spent quite a bit of time in the beginning of the video going back through just the last year. He said, so a year ago, here's where we were, and here's what happened with the planets, and then this thing happened, and this thing happened. And so he said it feels like there was this ripping open of our psyche, of our, he recalled it like surgery. He said it's like you went into surgery in August, September, October, November of last year, and this huge rip happened because it was time for an expansion. As a collective humanity, it was time for an expansion. And so this rip happened, and it threw so many people off, right? It created ripples of change that started to happen November, December, January. And he said now it's like at the place we're at here in July, it's like the surgery is over, the stitches are being put in place, and now we're starting to integrate what these new changes are moving forward. And that resonated so deeply with me because it follows the pattern of what's been happening in my life, right? The big changes I had last year and the things that I've been forming and creating and starting to bubble up inside of me over the last few months. And there has been a shift in July. There has been a significant shift. And I've talked about it in Soulshine, right? Going from rebellion to revolution. It's not just about fighting and arguing and trying to convince other people we're right. It's like, no. This old way we've been doing things doesn't work. It's not working. It's not working. And we're creating a new way. And it's a unique way for each individual. And so I invite you to watch the video if you haven't. There is such value, I think, in what he has shared. But all I can speak from is my story, right? My example of it. so I've been feeling these shifts happening and have had amazing support through so much of it. And a friend of mine invited me to meet a healer on Friday who calls herself a star being, and she just channels or shares whatever she sees about you. And from the moment I heard her name, I knew, oh, she has something really important to tell me. She's got something that I don't know that she can share with me that will help me. And so we went to see her on Friday, and I'm sitting on her living room floor. She's up on her couch, and she starts the whole session with, I am not going to tell you something that you don't already know. You already know everything that I will say to you today. All I am doing is helping you remember it. There is nothing new here for you. That is the most empowering statement a person could hear. Don't give me your power. Don't be the victim who is waiting for someone to tell her what she needs to do next, so then when it doesn't go the way she thinks it should go, she can come back and blame the person who didn't tell her the right thing. No. Tell me I already know it, and I need to find the trust within myself to follow what I know my path already is. And she said it's like a membrane. It's a breaking through of a shell. It's like a chrysalis, a cocoon, right? The butterfly forces her way out of this self-imposed shell that has been there to allow her the space to grow, the protection, the buffer. And I say her, but it's him also. It's all. It's masculine and feminine, right? We sit in these little cocoons, and we know, we sense that there's something amazing and magical inside of us that came to this earth to gift humanity with our presence, with our knowledge. And when the time is right, the people we call towards us to say it's time to step out of the chrysalis, they don't say, put your right foot out first, and then bump your left arm through the top of it, and then when you step out, what you're going to see is this, and it's going to look exactly this way, and here's the path you need to follow. No, the people just stand and love and hold and support, and they go, you can do this. You already know how to do this. It's already inside of you. Right? There's no cheerleader butterfly on the outside going, come on, get out of there. You're so lazy. Why aren't you doing it better or faster? The butterfly already knows to come out when she or he is ready. And so speaking from my own experience, what I could feel was the truth of what she told me, right? You have this bouncing back and forth thing that you are doing inside this self-imposed membrane. You are already ready to bring your gifts out, and you're just bumping up against the edge of it. So the only one who can bring you through the bump is you. The only one who can say, I break through into the huge, beautiful gift I know I came here to be in this world. Each of us can say that. It's not unique to me. Every one of us can say that. I break through into this world with every single drop of all of my brilliant, amazing, beautiful gifts, and I share it with the world. I choose that. I create that. And having someone mirror it to me, say it to me, is so validating. So I invite you, right here, right? Feel that for yourself. Feel your expanded power center. You did that. You brought breath into your body. You woke your feet up. I might have said, here's a way you can do it, but it's your choice. I can't make you do that. You invite Source to come and mirror and hold a light inside of you that says you're already that. To anchor it into 3D physical, there's an image that I think might help also. I got home yesterday, and we have this beautiful backyard with this pool, and it has a cover that slides back and forth so we can keep the water warm. I mean, I'm so spoiled, right? I'm so blessed. And I was laying in the sunshine just trying to integrate this knowing, okay, it's time to change, it's time to change. I'm ready for this shift, and feeling the need to anchor in all this sunshine and warmth and light, and playing in the water and feeling so grounded and centered. And so I finished swimming, and I was going to go mow the lawn, and you have to close the cover in order to mow the lawn because it sheds the grass. And halfway as I'm closing the pool, the cover pops out of the track along the side, and it makes this noise. So I think I've broken the cover, right? So I pause the button, and I'm like, oh, shit, now what? Oh, no, what did I do, right? Instant disaster. I jump out of my center into the disaster. I'm like, oh, no, what's going to happen? And so I go over, and I'm examining it, and it just looks like it's come out of the track. The membrane has started to rip, right? Literally, figuratively, how it shows up in my life. And so I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'm just going to leave it. I'm leaving it right where it is. I'm going to call the pool repair company. They'll come on Monday. They know what to do. This has happened once before. It's all going to be fine. And I watch the water starting to come from the pool on top of the cover, and my mind goes into the disaster. What if the cover goes underneath the water, and then the whole cover gets ripped, and it's in the pool, and then the whole cover has to be replaced? Oh, I created a disaster, right? All my energy out into this thing that can pull me off my center. And so I paused everything. I mowed the lawn, listened to music, got myself calm, called a friend. I'm like, I'm coming over. I need to run away from this disaster. And we sit and we talk, and I find my center again, right? And this morning when I look out at the pool, it literally looks like a ripped membrane. The half of the pool is crystal blue clear water. The other half of the pool is this cover that's halfway in the water, halfway above the water, and there's a silver bar right across the middle that takes the cover back and forth. Right? It's so literal. I am in the space in between right now. I am halfway in and halfway out, and I can choose to swim in this crystal blue water and feel the freedom. Or I can be hiding under this cover, halfway under the water, in the disaster, being the victim. Right? So perhaps that image will show you the contrast. It's all fixable. The pool repair guys will be there tomorrow, and the cover will work, and everything will go back to normal. It'll be fine. Right? But in this moment of today, I sit in this space in between. So excited. I have to tell you, so excited about all of the ideas that I feel being birthed, the new programs and initiatives that I want to share with the world, that I feel validated now to go, yes, I already knew that was in there. I trust it because someone reflected it to me. So I invite you to go in. Go in. Feel yourself in the center of your heart space, or the center of your breath, or the center of your power, third chakra, the center of your root, wherever it feels good to you. Go into the stillness, and you don't have to do anything. Just sit. Just allow it to integrate inside of you that you already know. You already know. And I'm going to have us just sit in the stillness for about 5 minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll look at what is one thing we can do from there, today, tomorrow, next week. But first, just sit in the stillness and allow whatever wants to be felt or experienced or heard to show up for you. Okay, and from this space, what is one step, one inspired action that you know you can take today or tomorrow? Not next week, not in a month, today or tomorrow. Good. Yeah, and what I would offer is your choice. It is always your choice. So you can take that action or not. No one will know, no one will judge, no one will evaluate. It's just your own guidance, and you choose. You choose how you want to navigate with it. Right? If you want accountability, you can share it. You can share it in the Soulshine Tribe. You can share it with friends. You can email it to me. If you don't want accountability, you just want to sit with it, it's your choice. No judgment. But what this beautiful woman, Inara, said to me on Friday, she said, yeah, it's your choice, but she said, when you don't act out of your bigness, your fullness, those who are waiting to hear from you become less because they don't have the inspiration to then feel their own bigness. It is the co-creation of the now. Right? When I show up like this with all of my truth and my story and share it, it creates an opening for you. And when you show up in all of your truth and your bigness and your story, it ripples out into an opening for someone else also. But always it's your choice, your choice. Okay, go ahead. Feel your power center inside of your body again. Bring your attention into your third chakra. You can hold that little nugget of action step inside there. You'll know what to do. Trust that. Feel your feet rooted into the earth. Feel the roots take anything that came up that might want to distract you or take you back into your busy mind. Feel all of that rush down to your feet and out into the earth. And tune back into that rhythm of the earth, the pulse of the ocean. There you go, good. Good. And then I really invite you to sit for a couple minutes after I stop talking and just integrate, just for a couple minutes. Just let your body settle, let yourself sit here, feel whatever was activated, settle in. And then ease back into your day, right? So, go make a cup of tea or go put your feet in the grass or go get a hug from someone around or call someone if you need some conversation or community, right? Ask for what you need and allow yourself to just feel how expansive you allowed yourself to be today. And then you take as much or as little of that forward as you choose. So much love from my heart to each of you today. Mwah.